Akon, how you doing, my brother? You well?
Man, I'm doing amazing, brother. How are you?
I'm blessed, always, in always, man. You got a
Yeah,
performance.
man.
Talk about it, and what can people expect?
It's gonna be crazy, man. I decided to go ahead and come back into the game. I was out of it for a while, of course, as you know. But now it's like, okay, it's time to get back in. But before I came in, I wanted to reactivate my base. So I decided to throw a super fan tour, which would just, really go after and reward all the super fans that's been down with me since the beginning, man. The last time I put out an album was in 2008, but I'm still getting up to 25 million streams average every month on Spotify. Like even the current artists aren't getting those kind of numbers, man. So that showed, okay, my fans are out there, they're keeping me active. And when I got excited, I was like, I got to make sure I reward them first before I even put out the album. And then we're gonna double back around and do a major tour on the major arenas for the masses.
Talk about being relevant, 20 years later, and being able to ignite a tour like this all over again. What does that mean to you? And just kind of doesn't really happen for everybody, bro.
No, it doesn't have for everyone, man. It shows you how blessed you are, but it also reminds me that my purpose musically hasn't been is not finished. Even when I listen to music today, I'm not as inspired as I used to be. But more than anything, there's so much happening within the world itself and in the global space with all these challenges. I think music could be what bridges things together and kind of open up the door for better decisions to be made politically and as in the humanities space. And I just felt like, with me, the message didn't all the way, I got sidetracked a little bit with the message, you know what I mean, towards the end of my career, because I got successful. I was thinking about all the things I was dealing with. And naturally, as you get successful, you start thinking about and singing about things that you're dealing with at that moment in time. But I feel like as an obligation, as a musician, there's more left in me that I need to actually deliver to my audience before I let it go and call it quits.
Clearly, you've got, doing good on your mind,
Right.
as opposed. So what does that look like? Just so that it's not in your mind, John, more we know.
I mean, I'm a probably most likely let the records speak for themselves. But one thing I can tell you is that it won't be no shortage of what you're used to hearing me, especially between album 1, 2, and 3. I kind of go back more to album 1 and 2 on this new album. It kind of brings me back to the essence of how Akon and Convict music was actually created and developed. So I'm going back to that sound.
So talk about what inspires you now musically.
Yeah, musically, I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm more into I'm heavily into the more Afrobeat. I'm a piano, that vibe all through. Like to the point where I even threw out a few specialty EPs in the last year and two. Just because I wanted to honor that for a whole nother level. But that's really where my headspace has actually been.
Did you get to Africa and how was the scene over there inspiring you? Talk about the burgeoning scene as well.
Yeah, well, Africa has been, my biggest inspiration and my goal. And, I always felt like my purpose was to develop Africa, both not just musically, but also infrastructure wise as well. That's why back in 2008, when I was, out there developing the whole Afrobeat type thing, it was more of like, okay, we have all this raw talent, but everything is so tribal and so local. So the idea was to, firm the production to where it actually could work outside of Africa and take some of that tribal Afro beat and kind of blend it with keyboards and sounds and music and give it a more musical pop feel. So Afro pop now today is what everyone look at to be Afro beat, but it's like the perfect sound for our generation, and it also opens up to where we can actually expose our environment in a way that people never seen it before. Because before now, everyone thought that Africa was this big jungle with lions and tigers and bears. Oh my, you know what I mean? But now they're seeing that, okay, there's a wave in Africa. There's a fashion district in Africa. There's, Bentleys and Porsches and, Cadillacs and things of that nature. There's huge mansions in certain parts of Africa. And there's a real lifestyle that you could, enjoy blue beaches and white sands and things of that, so it opened up the perspective of people and the image of Africa. And I think now it's more from a development aspect where we can take all of our resources and find a way to really develop Africa in a way to where people won't be afraid to come and really invest and be a part of that lifestyle. Like this is the thing. I feel like music comes in stages, right? And I feel like the stage in which the music that I drop, it served its purpose. But today, if you know, we're in a whole nother time, bro. Like these kids are dying over music. Like they like honestly, they're answering their ops in music. And then next thing you know, the dude that did the answering is shot dead on a street corner a week later because they're on social media putting down their locations to prove that they tough guys, right? So the music has taken a whole different turn. The message in the music is so left to the point where it almost scares you, because now the violence became a part of the music that they now want to make reality just for reputation or just for street cred. And it's gotten to the point where the purpose of music has been lost. So I feel like my second version of what I'm bringing to the table is to bring that balance in. So I think that's another 20 years worth of work.
And you're up for it, right? You seem very up
Oh
for
yeah,
it.
100%. Because it's about changing the minds and the mentality. Us as a people, man, sometimes our mentality can become so distorted because we have nothing to offer but violence. And it's never should have been that, because we offer so much more than that.
Listen, I know you probably got loads of interviews to do in promotion for the event coming up. Anybody else coming with you?
It's just Akon, I got Amira, my newest artist, so I'm presenting her. She'll be doing a few songs as well too, but mainly it's more so for Akon to come back, reconnect, and reunite with his base, and then we're gonna make some announcements, and then we're gonna come back on a major scale for the masses.